in North Africa fighting the Germans. Black men died at Anzio Beach, at Palermo, at Naples, to free Rome, to free Paris, to free Europe. Damn it! We died to build America. And America has rebuilt Germany and Japan, and is still suffering and dying in the streets of America.
Hey everybody, it's your brother Van Silk back in on the check-in again. That's right, y'all. I'm going to keep making these videos and keep dropping the knowledge and keep dropping everything that we're supposed to do and keep up with in life. But what I want everybody to do right now is check me out on my new platform on rumble.com. Now, rumble.com is like YouTube, but they let you do and say a little more and not ban you or give you a strike and everything. So when you go to rumble.com, just type in Van Silk and my channel will come up there and you can check out everything that I got going on rumble.com. But I like to talk on this conversation right now on the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Now, many of y'all may agree or disagree. You don't have to be a Muslim to understand what the 90-year-old, he's 90 years old now, has been saying for the last 60 years. Praise due to Elijah Muhammad. Praise due to the Honorable Malcolm X. But we got to understand one thing. We lost our way when it comes to our black culture. And Minister Farrakhan has been called a Semite. He's been called this. He's been called that. But when you speak the truth and people don't like it, they label us. And what we don't do in our culture, we don't support. We don't stand up. We don't hold the ground and say, hey, let's get together. Now, I'm a 50s baby. Back in the 60s, 68, civil rights movement, we didn't have no money. A lot of us migrated from the South, still had Jim Crow. A lot of us come from picking cotton, and the generation before that was slaves and ancestors of slaves. And we fared well. We did well as people of color. Meaning that families were together. Meaning that we took care of each other. We looked out for each other. In today's world, 2023, that don't happen anymore. Everybody's for self. I'm trying to get the bag. Well, I pulled out some of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. You'll have to excuse me, I'm walking. Some of his speeches. And I want y'all all to please understand, I am not scared to post this man on my social media page. Now, he's been banned. Okay. That's their platform. But the Nation of Islam will never fall. And what we got to understand is we cannot let the touche and people dictate our culture. There's too many things going on in this culture right now, and we don't even stand up for it. We got the lawyer Benjamin Crump. Okay, he's doing his job. When Reverend Al Sharpton was out here, y'all knocked him. When Jesse Jackson was doing it, y'all knocked him. But the problem is with us black people, y'all don't want to see each other succeed. But I'm going to say this, to say that I never met Louis Farrakhan. I want to find out how I can travel to Chicago and meet the great Louis Farrakhan. Wisdom and knowledge. He's 90 years old. And at the end of the day, we must understand our leaders stand for us, but you don't stand with the leaders. How can you win? I'm not trying to lose. So on this note here, I done pulled out about 10 or 15 clips of the minister speaking. And I want y'all, you don't have to be a Muslim. Just support. Stand tall. Black people. And to the young brother, Ben X, keep doing what you're doing, brother, because I love you. This your brother Van Sok on Rebel.com. Speaking my piece, I'm going to say, Assalamu alaikum.
When I see you, I have to treat you like I would honor God. I have to respect each human being. I have to respect you, brother. Even though you don't know who you are, I know. And because I know, my duty is to honor and respect you. Even these little children, they are little babies. But the power of God is in them, and they're going to grow up one day, hopefully, to be mighty men. So you start respecting them when they're in the cradle. When you read the Quran, you're having a conversation with God himself. And if you have a conversation with God, how can you come away stupid? And if you converse with God every day, how can you come away an imbecile? And if you allow God to speak to you daily and nightly until his words permeate your mind, then will you think like you or will you think like him? Well, wait a minute. How long? Not long. Are you going to sit around begging white people to do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves?
Be yourself. Learn about yourself. And develop yourself. And cultivate yourself. Because yourself is God.
Guess what? They didn't publicize this. Michael Jordan been wearing a black band on his arm. You didn't hear this, did you? I'll tell you why in a minute. This black band on his arm, the reporter said, Michael, why are you wearing that black armband? He said, well, for a lot of reasons, but I really don't want to talk about it. And they pressed him. And he said, this armband, I'm wearing it because of the suffering of the Palestinian people. Listen, 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 listen. He said, I'm wearing this armband because Nike is using labor, cheap labor, and selling tennis shoes to my people for $150 or more that they literally paid nothing to have made. He said, I'm wearing this armband. They said, but you made money. He said, yes, but I'm going to take this money and I'm going to give it to those who are struggling. The next day, the ADL called him an anti-Semite and threatened him. Nobody that has any sympathy for the Palestinians will make it in America. And the reason they didn't publish that is because of our love for Michael. Right. And now that Michael is politically conscious and everybody want to be like Mike, and let's crush Mike.
I'm a man, not a nigger, not a coon, a colored boy, a shine. In the Bible, it didn't say, let us make a nigger. God said, let us make man in my image and after my likeness. And that's what you're looking at. A man made by God in his image. And that's why you're frightened, because you ain't used to dealing with a man made by God.
Outside. The champ is here.
Here I go.
The champ is here.
Yeah.
The champ is here.
Me a wild V.
The champ is here.
The champ is here.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
Let's do it.
The champ is here.
Yeah, mob in the flesh, and you got to be tough to survive. I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar.
I am so sick and tired of this chip that you're carrying on your shoulder. We have bent over backwards. We have done backflips to make you feel equal. And yet, we've done everything.
Somewhere is not reading the newspaper. Yes.
I would like to know, as a mother and a grandmother, what can we do to instill in our children coming up? The older ones, we can't do anything with them, but the little ones is coming out. What can we do as mothers to help? Because we can't leave America. We have our roots here. We would like to stay, but we would like to make it a better America.
If we wish to make our children better, one of the things we have to do is to teach them the knowledge of themselves. As a little boy, my blessed mother kept instilling in me the love and the pride of being black. She made me to know my history, to know my roots. So I grew up with a love for myself and secure within myself, never feeling inferior and certainly not feeling superior, but that chip on the shoulder that the young lady spoke about is my self-assurance, my confidence, my ability to speak the truth without fear. I don't bend when I don't have to. I don't scratch where I don't itch. I look white people in the eye and speak honestly and truthfully and candidly and unhypocritically to you. That's not a chip. That's just self-assurance that comes from self-knowledge. Teach your children that, and whether we are here or there, we'll be able to make a future for ourselves.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Hate this shit, Snoop Dogg.
Were you scared for your life, dog?
Definitely.
Did it ever get extremely dangerous for you?
Yep. I had to go see Minister Farrakhan and let him put them boys on me. You know what I'm saying? The Nation of Islam, Fruit of Islam. Put that power around me. Help me do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I love about Minister Farrakhan, that he play team ball. He for us. You know what I'm saying? We got to have somebody that's for us. You got everybody against us. Who the fuck is for us?
Did it seem worth it at the time? Were you ever thinking about walking away from the so-called business?
Man, please, this is shit I was born to do.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, my dear visitors and friends and those of you in our television audience, the United States of America, one of the greatest nations in the last 6,000 years, is in grave trouble, not because of the power of a foreign government, but because of an internal rot and decadence that could very well sentence this nation to the ignominy that many of her sister nations have gone to before her. America is in the path of Sodom and Gomorrah, ancient Egypt, Babylon, and Rome. And at the core of this internal problem of America is the unwanted presence of nearly 30 to 40 million black people who didn't come on the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, or the Mayflower, but who came in the holds of ships. And from the day that our fathers set the soles of their feet in the Western Hemisphere, our cry has been for justice, and our cry is for justice today. I am not before you to anger you, to upset you. I am before you as an instrument, I hope, of peace, and I hope of reason. As a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I want you to know that I'm not an enemy of America, nor am I an enemy of Jews or white people, and certainly I'm not an enemy of black people. But I hope you will understand before this is over that I am pro-truth, pro-justice, and I hope for the liberation of our people and the salvation of this nation. Thank you very much.
Brother Minister, I'm just assuming, just guessing, you probably got something you won't say.
Having listened carefully to all of my wonderful brothers and sisters, I recognize that the thing that is missing is not the genius that is present or the genius that is absent. But the thing that is missing is the unity of us as a people. My beloved brother, Mr. Frazier, articulated some magnificent economic truths that can be realized fully by the unity of us as a people. My sister talked about education and health issues. We cannot any longer depend on a benevolent white person in office to look out for our needs. That responsibility is ours. Now, whether my brother, Bishop Eddie Long, can visit the White House and speak on behalf of us, or whether the Reverend Jackson can visit the White House and speak on behalf of us, or any of us.
They haven't invited me, Minister Farrakhan. They haven't invited me to the White House.
Well, you're on your way though, brother, for sure. When you can assemble us like this, you are a very important man. The few points that I want to make is based on what I heard my sister with the union. She wants to be at the right table at the right time to talk about the right issues where workers are concerned. Everyone at this table, my dear sister, talked about policy and community. Reverend Lowry and Reverend Sharpton brilliantly defined for us really the crux of the matter. Here's what I see. Respectfully, Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. But power won't even concede to a demand if the demand is coming from a weak constituency that looks like they've lost their testicular fortitude. Careful now, careful. I'm a Baptist preacher too. But listen, family, listen. The generational gap is serious, but it's written of in Scripture. When Moses gathered the people in the wilderness, he spied the promised land. But there were some giants in the promised land. And the people were asked, go in, we're with you. They said, wait a minute, God. We would go, but the giants are there. They had no faith that they could take the land from the giants. So what did God say? Okay, you wander in the wilderness till you die out, and I will take your children and they will inhabit the promised land. Martin Luther King said, I've been to the mountaintop. I have seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get there when we separate from a pharaohic idea of mental slavery. Our children, listen, our children cannot eat at the table of illusion and hypocrisy. Most of us who have access, who have wealth, who have quote unquote positions, we are like mannequins in the shopping mall of democracy. When you go to the shopping mall, you see the mannequin. The mannequin is dressed in what you would like to buy. The mannequin can't talk. The mannequin can't walk. We got black people in power, but they don't have power. We got black people with money. We have black people with money that we think are giants, but in the company of their white counterparts, they are midgets. Now, if we want to get where we want to go, we can't focus on the house that has rejected us and our fathers for 400 years. We have to now focus on ourselves. Now follow this and I'm out of here. I'm complete. Follow this.